Welcome, my friends. It was 2002. Hamilton, Ohio. A 16-year-old boy stood at home plate, grip tight on the bat. Suddenly, a loose bat flew through the air and smashed directly into his face. His nose crushed. His skull fractured. 2 eye sockets shattered. 1 year later, he was a star athlete. He was a boy struggling to walk in a straight line. But today, James Clear is the man who taught millions how to change their lives. This is not a story about luck. This is about the one win. Why should you listen to this? Because this is not just a book summary. This story will teach you how to fight when your world falls apart. How to build yourself back up when you feel like a pile of broken glass. And yes, this story will also improve your English. You are not just studying grammar, you are living inside a journey. Listen closely, because this might not just teach you English, it might change your future. Part 1. The Breaking and the Building. Months after the accident, James sat on a cold bench in a physical therapy clinic. He was made to walk in a straight line, but his legs wobbled like a toddler's. He was forced to realize his dream of being a pro player was dead. Age 17. Net worth, 0. Future, a blurry haze of seizures and hospital bills. He whispered to himself in the sterile silence, "I just want to be normal again." My friend, as someone who has felt the weight of a life that feels stuck, I promise you, these small habits are the way out. I'm not telling you this to give you a cheap pep talk. I'm telling you this because I've seen the one compound from a hospital bed to a global stage. You are not stuck, you are just waiting for the compound effect to kick in. Most people focus on the goal, the 1 million, the 20-pound weight. Loss, the gold medal. But the secret is the system. Winners and losers have the same goals. The difference is the 10 minutes of prep they do in a quiet room every morning. Dante chased the finish line, build the track. Imagine trying to heat a room that is exactly 26 degrees. You turn up the heat to 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Nothing happens. The ice cube on the table doesn't move. But then you hit 32 degrees. Suddenly, the ice melts. That's your progress. All those invisible hours weren't wasted. They were being stored for the breakthrough. You think you are failing because you don't see results today. But let me tell you the truth about your habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your bank account, your weight, and your messy desk are just lagging measures of what you did 90 days ago. James Clear knew this. He couldn't hit a home run anymore. He couldn't even run. So he started with one small thing. He made his bed every morning. He went to sleep at the same time every night. He studied for 15 minutes. Small, tiny, atomic. If you get one better every day for a year, you end up 37 times better. If you get one worse, you drop almost to 0. By his junior year of college, James was an all-American athlete. By his 30s, he was a world-famous writer. He didn't find a miracle. He found a system. And today, we are going to learn that system. The 4 laws of behavior change. Part 2, the first law, make it obvious. You walk into your kitchen at 11 p.m., the blue light of the fridge hitting your tired eyes. You promised yourself today would be different, but there you are, hand in the cookie jar, feeling that familiar sting of self-betrayal. You re not lazy, you re just a victim of an environment you didn't design. I know that feeling of looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person staring back. Your energy is low, your 30s are slipping by, and the habits you hate feel like iron chains. We are going to break those chains today, one small link at a time. The first law is simple: make it obvious. Your brain is a scanning machine. It looks for cues. If you see a bag of chips on the counter, you eat it. If you see your phone next to your bed, you scroll it. Your environment is a silent architect. If you want to drink more water, don't rely on willpower. Put 5 bottles on your desk, in your car, and by your bed. Stop trying to be stronger. Start making the good choice the only choice you see. Imagine buying the most expensive running shoes in the store, but keeping them in a box under a pile of laundry in a dark closet. ULL never run. But if you place those shoes right in the middle of your doorway, you LL trip over them until you put them on. That is environment design. A man wants to lose 50 pounds. Most would join a gym and run for 2 hours. But he makes a strange decision. He decides to stand in the gym for only 5 minutes, then leave. He does this for 30 days straight. Why? Because he wasn't optimizing for fitness, he was optimizing for showing up. He made the cue so obvious and the actions so small that he couldn't say no. Have you tried this? Have you tried making your habits so visible you can ignore them? If you want to study English, put your book on your pillow. If you want to take vitamins, put them next to your toothbrush. But what about the bad habits? The second part of the first law is make it invisible. If you want to stop watching TV, put the remote in another room. If you want to stop scrolling, delete the app. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer temptations. Part 3. The second law. Make it attractive. Think of the time you bought that 2000 treadmill. It sat in the corner of your bedroom, gathering dust, becoming a very expensive clothes rack. Every time you looked at it, you felt a surge of shame. You didn't lack motivation, you lacked a craving. You are not a person who tries to work out. You are an athlete in training. Every time you choose the stairs over the elevator, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are building a new identity, one vote at a time. The second law is make it attractive. Why do we crave junk food? Because it gives us a massive hit of dopamine. Why do we crave social media? Because of the variable reward. Ask yourself this: what would a healthy person do? Would they buy the bag of chips or the bag of apples? This ISNT about the food. It S about the identity rehearsal. You are practicing being someone else until it becomes the truth. Every time you check your phone for a notification, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. It's like a slot machine in a smoky Las Vegas casino, 2 a.m., and you re-pulling the lever over and over. To change a habit, you have to make the bad ones unattractive by seeing the hook for what it is. You are about to see the hidden machinery of your desires. We think we want the cigarette or the cookie. We don't too. We want the relief from the stress. We want the 30 seconds of peace. Once you see the mask, you can change the face. How do you make a good habit attractive? Use temptation bundling. Only listen to your favorite podcast while you at the gym. Only drink your favorite coffee while you studying English. Link the thing you need to do with the thing you want to do. But there is a deeper level. We are social animals. We want to belong. We imitate the habits of three groups: the close, the many, and the powerful. If you want to read more, join a book club. If you want to be rich, stop hanging out with people who complain about being broke. Join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If everyone around you runs marathons, you will eventually start running too. Part 4, the third law, make it easy. Imagine a man who spent 20 years building a business, only to have his health collapse at age 45. No energy to play with his kids, no strength to walk through his own office. Just the cold silence of a hospital room and the beep of a heart monitor. He had the money, but he lost the habit of living. So now, put down the phone, clear the clutter from your desk, and set out your clothes for tomorrow. Don't wait for a new year or a new you. Start with 120 seconds of effort. Your future self is begging you to start. The third law is, make it easy. Human nature follows the law of least effort. We will naturally do the thing that is easiest. So your job is to reduce the friction for good habits and increase the friction for bad ones. Most people focus on the intensity of the workout, but the secret is the frequency. It is better to do 5 push-ups every single day than to do 500 once a month. Consistency is the soil where the one grows. Imagine a river flowing through a canyon. It doesn't carve the rock because it's powerful. It carves the rock because it is persistent. Your habits are the water. They might seem weak today, but in 10 years, they will have reshaped your entire landscape. This is where the 2-minute rule comes in. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes. Read 1 page, do 30 minutes of yoga becomes. Take out my yoga mat. You might think, this is a joke. 1 page won't help me. But listen to me carefully. You have to master the habit of showing up before you can worry about the results. You can improve a habit that doesn't exist. James Clear says, optimize for the starting line, not the finish line. If you can get to the gym, the workout will happen. If you can open the book, the reading will happen. Make it so easy that you can say no. On the flip side, make bad habits hard. If you spend too much time on your phone, put a long password on it. If you eat too much junk food, don't keep it in the house. Make yourself work for your vices. Part 5, the fourth law. Make it satisfying. In the 1900s, the British cycling team was the joke of the world. They were so bad that bike manufacturers refused to sell them equipment because they didn't want their brand associated with losers. Then, a man named Dave Brailsford arrived. He didn't change the bikes, he changed the pillows the riders slept on to ensure better sleep. He changed the gel they used to wash their hands to prevent colds. He painted the inside of the truck white to spot dust that might hurt the engines. The riders were mocked in the newspapers. They felt the sting of being the losers of Europe. But they didn't look at the podium, they looked at the one improvement in their tires. They wiped the grease from their hands and said, "We will be one better today." 5 years later, They owned the Tour de France. You think you are stuck in your current life because of your DNA or your past. You re-not. You are a collection of systems that can be rewritten. You are a masterpiece in progress. And the fourth law, reward, is your final tool. The first three laws increase the odds that you will do the habit this time. The fourth law increases the odds that you will repeat it next time. The cost of your good habits is in the present. It's hard to work out. The cost of your bad habits is in the future. Lung cancer, debt, failure. It's boring to study, but the reward is in the future. But the reward, the dopamine, is in the present. You're choosing which version of yourself you want to punish. Choose wisely. Imagine the feeling of crossing off the final task on a habit tracker. Your hand moves the pen. The ink hits the paper X. In that second, your brain gets a hit of satisfaction. You feel capable. You feel in control. This is how you train the beast inside. A woman wants to stop overspending. She makes a bizarre decision. Every time she skips a purchase, she puts that exact amount into a savings account. Labeled Trip to Europe. She, ISNT, losing a coffee. She is gaining a sunset in Paris. She made the sacrifice satisfying. Why do we sabotage ourselves just when things get good? Because we haven't changed our identity. We are still the poor student or the unhealthy person in our own minds. Until the identity shifts, the habits will always feel like a borrowed suit that doesn't fit. Part 6. The Advanced Mastery. We have talked about the laws. But how do you keep going when the fire fades? How do you stay disciplined when you are bored? The greatest threat to success is not failure. It is boredom. We get tired of doing the same thing every day. We want a new secret. We want a shortcut. But the masters are the ones who can fall in love with the daily grind. What feels like a slow, painful grind today is actually the foundation of a life you haven't met yet. Every one win is a brick in a fortress that will protect you for the next 30 years. Stop waiting for the perfect Monday to start. James Clear didn't wait for his skull to heal perfectly before he started lifting 1-pound weights. He picked himself up from the hospital floor, and the world followed. You don't need a plan, you need a start. Let me tell you a secret about your brain. It wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you small. It tells you, you've done enough for today. Let's just relax. That voice is the enemy. You have to be the architect of your own life. If you don't design your habits, someone else will design them for you. The media, the food companies, the distractions, they are all fighting for your attention. But you are different. You are here. You are listening. You are learning. This is not just a book summary. This is your manual for a new life. If your heart is beating faster right now, Dante just close this. Go to your kitchen. Put one healthy thing on the counter. Set your alarm. Fight for the one. Think about the boy from the village in North Korea. A decision to never stop trying. A decision to build a system. Think about Galileo in his dark room. A decision to believe in the compound effect. Think about James Clear in his hospital bed. They didn't have special powers. They had a decision. You might feel small today. You might feel like that 17-year-old boy who couldn't walk in a straight line. But remember, the ice cube doesn't melt at 31 degrees. It melts at 32. You are at 31 degrees. Keep going. Every word you learn in English, every push-up you do, every dollar you save, it is not wasted. It is being stored. One day, the world will look at you and say, "How did you become so successful? You re so lucky." And you will smile. You will remember the cold nights. You will remember the 11 p.m. kitchen floor. You will remember the wobbly steps. And you will say, "It wasn't luck. It was the system. I just never stopped being one better." This is the story of Atomic Habits. But the ending? The ending is up to you. So, what is the first thing you will do when this video ends? Don Tid tell me. Show me. Show your future self that you are worth the effort. Pick up your heart, fix your posture, clean your tears, and start walking. Your greatness is waiting. If you want more stories that give you the fire to rise, stories that teach you the truth about life and help you master English, then subscribe now, because we don't just summarize books. We help you rebuild your world. Thank you for being here. Now, go and be one better. ILL. See you in the next one. Stay strong.